Smalland Survive the Wilds is a survival game where you play as small folk, a tiny human-like creature that's the size of a bug. Perhaps you've played or heard of Grounded, another survival game where you play as shrunken teens who must survive in a backyard full of bugs bigger than them. Ultimately, the two games will be compared to one another, but that's not what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to look at what Smalland has to offer for the early access launch and let you know if it's worth playing right now. Before I jump into it, I want to thank Merge Games for the early review code for the game, and also let you know that I am not being paid or sponsored to make this video. As I always do, I'll be providing my honest opinions on the game, and I'll be keeping it spoiler free. All video footage will be from the first hour of gameplay, and everything discussed will either be discovered in the first hour or is publicly available via the game's website or Steam page. When you start a new character in Smalland, you'll be given quite a few customization choices. After choosing a male or female body type, you'll be able to customize your head, ears, eyebrows, beard, antennae, hair, eyes, and skin. There's a decent amount of customization available right now, and while I'm not that big into this kind of thing, I'm sure it will make plenty of people happy. Upon loading into the game, you'll make your way through an underground cave that has resources immediately available for collection, before quickly running into an owl effigy. The owl effigies provide information on how to navigate the menus of the game, how systems work, as well as providing general gameplay tips. Owl effigies are pretty common in the early parts of the game. You'll also encounter NPCs during your adventure. Some NPCs just say a single line of dialogue, while others will answer questions about the world, provide guidance on what to do next, and some will even craft items for you. The owl effigies and NPCs combined provide a good tutorial system to help you get started and guide you on what to do next. For reference, I'm playing Smalland on a PC with a 2060 Super GPU, a Ryzen 7 3700X CPU, and I have 32GB of RAM. Running on all high settings, the game looks amazing, and I have noticed very infrequent stutters. One tip is to make sure you have windowed mode off in the graphics tab so the game runs full screen for the best experience. As you can see, Smalland has a slightly cartoony look to it, but also looks more realistic than many other games with this aesthetic. Overall, the game is beautiful, especially when the sun is shining, and it also has a weather system. When it rains, the sky becomes gloomy and the rain will fall. Sometimes it's just a light drizzle, while other times a strong storm will pass through, requiring you to take shelter. During the rainstorms, I didn't notice any performance issues. Rain is the only weather I've encountered so far, but there is a seasonal system as well that will bring in snow, which can be seen in this screenshot from the game's Steam page. As is typical in most survival games, you'll need to manage your health, stamina, hunger, or as Smalland refers to it, nourishment, and temperature. So far, I haven't had any issues finding enough food and resources to maintain my health and nourishment. Stamina seems pretty balanced as well, and unless you're holding sprint constantly or spamming attacks during combat, you should have no issue managing it. Temperature so far has also been easy to manage, and the only time it was really affected early on was when a strong storm occurred. During those events, you'll need to find shelter either inside your own base or at an NPC's base to keep from freezing. Resources in Smalland can be collected by hand or using a tool, and the basic resources are extremely plentiful at the start of the game. You'll find ample amounts of wood, fiber, and resin, and there are edible mushrooms as well to keep you well nourished. Most resources seem to respawn one day after collecting them, although I believe rain will make some of them respawn faster. You can also use your antenna sense to locate nearby resources and creatures while you're out exploring. I like the fact that resources that require a tool have a health bar, so you know how close you are to harvesting them. The only two minor annoyances I have with the resource gathering are that they aren't auto-collected, and sometimes, particularly with the mushrooms, the pieces fall into the stump and are hard to collect. As you would expect, the further away you travel from the starting area, the better the resources you'll find, but of course along with that comes the danger of running into more dangerous enemies. Building is absolutely required in Smalland. You must have at a minimum a foundation, wall, and roof to use your bed. The crafting stations can be placed without a foundation, but if they don't have a roof over them, they will take damage over time and will eventually break. The same will happen to any building structure that does not have a roof over it, but the good news is they can be repaired for free. Building is easy and the pieces snap together nicely. The cost of structures seems fair, and dismantling them returns 100% of the resources, so no worries if you need to move something. The only downsides I've noticed so far are you can't move play structures, so you'll have to dismantle them first before putting them where you want them, and there aren't any half floors or walls. At the start, you'll be able to craft some basic items from your inventory. Placing a workbench will unlock additional crafting recipes, as will discovering resources for the first time. So far, the cost of crafting items seems balanced, and progressing to the additional crafting stations will occur pretty quickly with a little exploration. The crafting recipes will quickly encourage more exploration as well, and overall I'm happy with the crafting system right now. Damaged gear can be repaired using some of the crafting resources used to craft it, and the cost will be based on how much durability it has left. To start the game, you'll have 32 inventory slots. There are also 8 hotbar slots, but those are not separate from your inventory. So far I haven't had any issues with my inventory, as most of the common resources can be carried in stacks of 30. Later on you can also get access to additional inventory slots. Combat will be a vital part of Smalland, as you will need to fight creatures to obtain the resources they drop. Enemies come in 3 types: passive, which will flee when attacked, neutral, which will only attack if you attack them, and aggressive, which will attack you in sight. Enemies can also have a weakness which will be indicated next to their health bar, so you are encouraged to use the right weapon type. Combat consists of both melee and ranged. There are basic and secondary melee attacks. The basic is faster and deals less damage, while the secondary is slower and deals more damage. For range, there is only a single attack, at least with the bow I've used so far. I did test the enemy AI, and while they sometimes let you get 1 or 2 free shots on them, they will quickly flee if they can't reach you. The bugs I've encountered so far can climb up most surfaces, so at this point it would seem cheesing them will not be an option, although I need to test much more to see if it's possible to break their AI. For defense, you can block, which will reduce the damage taken, or dodge roll to avoid attacks altogether. Overall, combat is okay, and my only gripe is the movement could feel tighter. Smalland can be played solo or with up to 10 people in a single world. I tested co-op for about 30 minutes with a host on the opposite side of the US from me. The starting area was a little rough, but once I got out into the open world, there weren't any major issues. I didn't notice any desync or lag as a guest, and right now at least, it would seem as long as the host has decent internet, you'll be good to go playing co-op. Smalland will be launching with 6 distinct biomes in a massive open world. The game has NPCs that will help you through your adventure. There are currently 28 creatures, 4 of which can be tamed and ridden as mounts, as well as 4 bosses and 2 mini-bosses. Right now there are 13 armor sets, more than 20 melee and ranged weapons, and 10 tools including a grappling gun. If you enjoy building, you'll have over 80 building parts to choose from, including several decorations. Smalland also has day, night, and seasonal cycles, including weather, which will impact the world you are playing in. The current plan for Smalland is to be in early access for 6 months to a year. That seems to be the standard estimation for most survival games, but from my experience that time is rarely met. In any case, the devs have posted a roadmap of what to expect and it has quite a lot. The first update scheduled for spring, so sometime between April and June, includes a new mount, a new enemy type, a new weapon and tool and armor set, new locations, additional higher tier building pieces, and 2 new NPCs. Future updates include improvements to weather and seasons, official service report, a deeper mount system, additional locations, factions, and new armor, tools, weapons, NPCs, bosses, creatures, mounts, and resources. The ultimate question and the whole reason you're watching this video is to help you decide if Smalland is worth playing right now. From what I have seen so far, Smalland has quite a lot more content at launch than many early access survival games. The game has been fun and engaging so far, and I haven't run into any major technical issues even when playing co-op. If you watched some of my previous videos, caught a live stream, or viewed some of my older YouTube shorts, you'll know that I've grown tired of early access survival games. In all honesty, the only reason I played Smalland is because the developers gave me a review key. With that said, the game is fun. I've enjoyed every minute I've played of it so far. To answer the question, is Smalland worth playing right now? That depends on you. If you don't mind early access and love survival games, absolutely give it a try. If you'd rather wait for a complete game, then put it on your wishlist and check in periodically to see how the game is progressing. I'll leave a link for the Steam page in the description below if you're interested in playing it now or wishlisting it. If you made it this far, thank you so much. If you found this video helpful, please click the like button and let me know in the comments if you'll be playing Smalland right now, waiting for full release, or passing on it completely.